Canon 30. If any bishop comes into possession of a church by employing secular rulers, let him be deposed from office, and let him be excommunicated, and all those who communicate with him too. Canon 2 of the 4th Council, Canon 3 and 5 of the 7th Council, Canon 13 of Laodicea. Interpretation. This Canon 2, like the one above, provides double chastisement for one and the same sinful act, for it says, any bishop that employs secular officials and through their aid or agency contrives to get any bishopric or metropolis shall be deposed and at the same time excommunicated from the church. Likewise all clergymen that may communicate with him, whether they be the prelates who ordained him, or presbyters, or deacons, or subdeacons, or anagnosts. All I say shall be deposed from their clericature and shall be excommunicated. Concord. Those rulers or officials, on the other hand, who acted as intermediaries was one performed for money. For according to Canon 3 of the 7th secular ruler, ought not to choose bishops or presbyters or deacons, nor ought to the masses to participate in the election of men to holy orders, according to Canon 13 of Laodicea, in a precedent way that is, but only by bishops and priests of the same order. I said, in a precedent way that is, but only the bishop and priests of the same order. I said, in a precedent way, because laymen do not vote, since in a second way they too have to be asked whether they consent to the vote, either all or a majority, and see in the footnote to Apostolic Canon 2 and that to Canon 5 of Laodicea. First, because if they can point out any true accusation against the candidate, his ordination ought to be prohibited, in accordance with the interpretation of Apostolic Canon 61. And secondly, even though they fail to consent to his election, it is possible that they may not accept the prelate for whom only the synod votes, and hence may ensue confusion and division between the bishops and the Christians. Though, in point of fact, today the laity are not even asked, and their consent is not even taken into consideration in a second way. Read also Apostolic Canon 61.